Now, if you've spent any time on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, especially in South Africa, chances are you've probably seen this boy, right? His name is Nathi Traders. Now, if you haven't, no problem. I will catch you up very quickly. Now, Nathi Traders, he is one of the biggest growing, quickest growing Forex influencers, building a name for himself, coming from nowhere, and he's always been 16, right?
A 15-year-old boy.
Now, if you scroll through his content, you'll see exactly what you'd expect. Cash, cars, luxury purchases, trading screenshots, the typical Forex trading playbook, and a lifestyle that suggested that Forex has basically changed his life. Now, naturally, content like this attracts people. You know that. People love this type of content because we've seen this before. Because most people watching aren't interested in technical analysis, they are interested in the results. Nobody really cares where the money comes from. People just really care that the money is actually there. They want to know exactly how a young boy is posting stacks of cash, expensive vehicles, and talking about financial freedom. And to be fair, Nathi has done a good job so far building that image for himself. Now, at the time of making this video, he has built a big following across different social media platforms, and obviously continue to post content showing what appears to be a successful lifestyle. But whenever I investigate somebody in the Forex industry, I don't give a fuck about the lifestyle. I'm interested in the story, because behind every luxury post is usually a business model, and behind every business model is a source of income. So before we get into the cars, the cash, and the claims, let's take a closer look at what Nathi is actually showing people online, because that's where things starts getting interesting. So let's get straight into the facts, the information, and the data. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, let's talk about a major hurdle every trader faces, which is capital. Now, we've been all there. You've got a strategy, you've done the back testing, but your account balance is too small to see the real results. Now, this is where Goat Funded Trader comes in. They are a leading prop firm that lets you trade up to 2 million in simulated capital. This means you can stop risking your own hard-earned savings and start trading at a professional scale. Whether you're into Forex, indices, or crypto, they provide the liquidity environment you need to perform like a goat. What sets GFT apart are the flexibility. They offer 1, 2, and 3-step evaluation models, and even instant funded accounts if you want to skip the wait. Now, here's the best part. Up to 100% profit split. You keep what you earn. Fast payouts. They guarantee payouts within 24 to 48 hours, or they'll even pay you an extra $1,000. There's no hidden rules. They allow news trading and weekends holding on specific accounts, so you don't have to change your style. With over 240,000 traders, the community speaks for itself. If you're ready to level up, click the link in my description below. Use the code FIRSTGFT for 50% on your first account, or check out their latest BOGO 40 deal. Stop dreaming about big trades and start making them with the Goat Funded Trader. Now, let's talk about the first thing that probably brought a lot of people to Nathi Traders' social media pages, right? And that is basically the lifestyle. Because when I started going through his content, one thing became very obvious very quickly, right? That this isn't the page focused on trading education. It's a focus, the entire page is basically focused on results. You'll find photos of cash, you'll find videos of expensive vehicles, luxury purchases, house vehicles, here and there designer item, and plenty of posts showing rewards of success. Now, there's nothing wrong with showcasing your life on social media. People like seeing success because, people need some positivity in the world as well. And that's why luxury content performs so well online. But that's also where things get a lot interesting. The lifestyle isn't being shown once or maybe twice. It's the major part of the brand. It's everywhere you look. Because, for example, if we look at posts featuring an Audi, the other post is a Ford Ranger Raptor. There are even photos showing a large amount of cash, posting, celebrating major purchases, and then content designed to make followers ask one simple question: how exactly does Nathi Traders do this? And And that is exactly why his strategy works. Because when somebody appears successful, people naturally become very curious, and we've seen this pattern play over and over and over again. Now, because he's so young, he mostly attract young people, people who are struggling financially, especially people who are looking for an easy way out. Now, they see these cars, they see the money, and they start imagining their own future to be exactly like this. And this is where I think many people make a mistake. The people assume that the lifestyle is the proof. And those are two very different things, because seeing a car doesn't tell us how it was paid for, seeing cash doesn't tell us where it came from, seeing success doesn't automatically explain the business behind it. And that's where the investigation started to take a dramatic shift. Because the more I looked at the lifestyle content, the less interesting I became in the lifestyle itself. I became interested in the system behind it. How is the audience being attracted to all of this? Where are they being sown? And what happens after somebody decides they want the same lifestyle that he's portraying on social media? Because if you look there, that is where the real story actually begins. Now, this is where things get very, very interesting, because the more I look through Nathi Traders content, the more I notice the lifestyle wasn't the final destination. You know, it was starting to look more like a funnel. And what I meant by that is very simple. The content is there to grab your attention. The cars grab your attention. The cash he posts is there to grab the attention. The success that he's portraying on social media is designed to do the exact same thing. But eventually you're encouraged to take the next step, and that means he says contact me, DM me, join Telegram, message me through WhatsApp to learn how I've basically achieved this.
Now, if you want to get the source, make sure you DM my numbers on the bio. Let me actually show you how I did it.
And that's exactly what I found while going through Nathi Traders pages. In the one post, he tells his followers, if you want to know how I did it, the source I used, DM me with the number that is in my bio. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. If somebody sees cash, a lifestyle, cars, what's the next thing they're going to do? Obviously, they're going to ask, how do I replicate this guy's success and how do I do it? And you see, that is exactly where the funnel begins. Now, to be clear, there's nothing wrong with building a trading community. There's also nothing wrong with having a Telegram group or a WhatsApp contact in your bio. But from an investigative perspective, it raises a very important question, and that is, what happens when somebody eventually joins? That's basically where the real business usually starts. Not on Instagram, not on TikTok, not on Facebook, inside the private channels that they are selling you. And this is something that is not unique to Nathi Traders, because every other person out there in the same space we've seen are doing it. Now, I've seen many people do this before, as I said, in step 1, sow your lifestyle. Step 2, build curiosity. Step 3, move people into a private environment. And once people are inside of those groups, that's where opportunities are often presented. Now, whether that's education, whether it's signals, communities, partnerships, or something else entirely. And that's why I became less interested in the lifestyle or the cars and what he was showing, and I started to shift my attention to the audience. Because when I look through the comments, I noticed something. Many of the people engaging with the content appear to be very young people, teenagers, people looking for financial freedom, people hoping somebody has found the shortcut they've been searching for and that we've been searching for many years as well. And that is exactly why it's important to separate inspiration from verification, because being inspired by somebody's success is one thing, understanding how the success was achieved is something completely different. And that's the question I kept coming back throughout this entire investigation. Are the followers actually seeing the full picture, or are they only seeing the highlighted reels and the lifestyle on social media? Now, at this point, you guys are probably watching this video and thinking, Rolio, but what is the problem? Maybe this guy is just a successful trader, and that's a fair question, because successful traders in South Africa, in Africa, do exist. People make money through the market every day. This isn't whether a trading can make money. The issue is, how do we verify the claims that are being presented? And that's where things always become very difficult, because while researching Nathi Traders, I found plenty of evidence of a lifestyle, the cars, the cash, luxury purchases, social media success. One thing I struggle to find is to verify independable trading performances. You see, and that is the most important distinction because a withdrawal screenshot isn't the same thing as a verified track record. A photo with cash isn't the same thing as years of trading histories that you could have projected or proved to us. Having a car isn't proof of trading profitability, and social media following, it definitely isn't proof of a trading skill. Those are completely different things. Now, before everybody twists my words, let me be very clear. I'm not saying Nathi Trader doesn't make money. I'm not saying the lifestyle is fake, and I'm not saying he isn't a trader, although he's not old enough to be one. What I'm saying is that when somebody builds a public image around trading success, people are naturally going to ask for evidence. We want to see the proof. And that's why I think many followers get confused, because in the Forex world, luxury often gets mistaken for the proof. People see the result and assume the results are proof of the process, but that's not how evidence basically works. The strongest proof of trading success isn't in a car, it's not a watch, it's not a stack of cash. It's a verified track record, something that can be independently checked, something that doesn't rely on trust alone. And during the research I've done on this guy, I couldn't find any level of verification being presented publicly. Now, maybe somewhere in the world out there it exists. Maybe there are records, maybe his records are not even public. Maybe there are statements being said. That is a possibility. But based on the information that is available publicly, because he's trying to influence the public, because there's a difference between seeing success and verifying success. And that's the difference every follower needs to understand, especially on social media, where it's very easy to confuse marketing with evidence. Now, the further you look into the entire Nathi Traders story, you notice something that is very familiar, not because of Nathi Traders specifically, but because I've seen the exact same formula, and most of you probably also. The names is just different faces. It's the same blueprint. First comes the lifestyle, the cash, the cars, the success stories, and then comes the audience. People start following, people start asking questions, people start wanting the same exact lifestyle. And that's where the real value is created. Not in the Telegram post, not in the TikTok video, it's in the attention. Because the attention is the currency for every influencer chasing. The more attention you have, the more opportunities you create, and that's why so many Forex influencers build their brands around the same thing: luxury, success, freedom, escape. It's a formula that has proven to work, especially on young audience, because when you're 16, 18 and 20 years old, a video showing a young trader with cars and cash is one of the most powerful things that you can ever do. It makes people believe maybe they found something with answers, and that is exactly why followers needs to be very careful. Not because every influencer is lying, but because social media only shows the highlights. Nobody posts their bad months, their losses, or their years of struggle. People post the things that get the most attention. And in the Forex industry, attention usually comes with one thing: money. So when I look at Nathi Traders, the question I ask isn't, is he successful? The question I ask, what evidence exists beyond the marketing and what he's showing to the people? Because that's the only question that matters when you do what I do, not just for Nathi Traders, but for you guys trying to get involved as well. The moment you stop looking at the lifestyle and start looking at the verification, your entire perspective of these people start to change. And that is exactly what happened during the investigation. The more I looked for proof on this guy, the less interested I became in everything that he is portraying on social media. And I became more interested in any evidence that was available. And that's where the story takes us to the final question. After we've seen everything, you know what can we actually conclude when it comes to Nathi Traders? Now, after spending all this time going through Nathi Traders and his content, the main question is, what do I actually think about this boy? Well, one thing is very clear: he's built a success through his personal brand, the cars, the cash, the lifestyle. It gets the attention that he was looking for, and that is exactly why thousands of people are following him. But the main question we have to ask is very simple: where is the proof? Because while there's no shortage of lifestyle content, I struggle to continuously find independable, verifiable evidence of trading results being presented publicly. Now, that doesn't mean that the claims are false, it just means that they are difficult to verify. And that's a very important distinction, especially when many people consuming his content are young people looking for a way to change their lives. At the end of the day, this investigation isn't really about one person, it's about a pattern we've seen repeatedly happen in the Forex industry. public lifestyle, the evidence user, the lifestyle is public, the evidence usually isn't. And that is why you should never confuse luxury with proof. As for Nathi Traders, he's still active, still posting, still growing. And maybe more evidence emerges in the future. Maybe it doesn't, because for most of these guys we've seen, they've been doing this for many years and we still can't prove that they actually make money in the market. But for now, after reviewing everything that is available publicly, one thing stands out like a sore thumb. The lifestyle is very easy to see. The verification is much harder to find. So on that conclusion, hopefully something will come out one day for this guy. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. Let me know. Maybe you were a student of his. Maybe you've made money through him. Let me know in the thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for your time. And as always, cheers for ears.